Hey folks, this is Chris Crazy House, and I'm back again with a brand new sketch blog. Today I'm going to be talking about Rogue One, a Star Wars story. And while I'm talking about that movie, I'm going to be doing a drawing of Darth Vader in a bacta tank. So hopefully you enjoy it. So in 1 minute the blog will start, and before that I'm going to show you a quick ad for my website. Chris Crazy House signing out, and I'll be back in 1 minute. Peace. Hey guys, this is Chris Crazy House, and I'm here to do a brand new sketch blog talking about Rogue One today, a Star Wars story. For those who are unaware of Rogue One, it is a Star Wars movie that is coming out this December, and it's not set in the main storyline of Star Wars. It's a prequel, kind of. So it's the story of the rebels who stole the plans for the original Death Star, which appears in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. So this is their story, essentially. And what I like about this is it doesn't focus on the Skywalker family. It doesn't really focus on Jedis, per se, in that whole storyline. It focuses more on the regular people and the soldiers and the rebels and mercenaries and bounty hunters who live in this world and who are caught up in the intrigue that's going on between the war between the Empire and the newly formed Rebel Alliance. So it looks very interesting to me, and I remember seeing the original trailer, and I liked it, but what really blew me away was seeing it on the big screen, because I think I saw it when I went to go see Captain America Civil War. I saw the trailer on the big screen, and it looked amazing. The film looks amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about it, just some of the rumors that I've heard about Rogue One, and some of the new information that's come out just this week in Entertainment Weekly. So I'm going to talk about that, and while I'm doing that, you're going to see me here drawing a picture of Darth Vader himself in a bacta tank, because that is one of the rumors and one of the discussions that people have had as far as Darth Vader's involvement in this film, since he is prevalent during this time period while the Death Star is being built, and he is the Empire's main enforcer. And apparently there might be a scene in the movie where we see him getting his limbs changed out in the bacta tank. And for those who don't know what a bacta tank is, it's the, if you ever saw The Empire Strikes Back, after Luke is rescued by Han Solo from getting almost eaten and beat up by that snow monster, they put Luke Skywalker in a bacta tank, and that's kind of like a tank of nutrients and medicine to help you heal a lot faster than you normally would and help you get back on the mend. And so that's what we get to see Darth Vader in while he's getting his robotic limbs changed and redone and retooled. That's the rumor. Anyway, when I talk about this stuff, I don't know all this stuff for sure, but if this is in the movie, it will be a very interesting scene to see. And in my opinion, I think it will humanize Vader a little bit more, even more so than just the prequel trilogy, because it shows he's always been a very intimidating figure in the original Star Wars trilogy. Very villainous, very intimidating, very scary. But this shows just how pathetic he actually really is under all that armor and that suit. Because when he's even more so than what you saw in Empire Strikes Back, where you kind of see the back of his head, even that was more scary But I think if you see him in the Bacta tank, you'll see just how reduced and pathetic of a life that Anakin Skywalker has, and why he kind of now has to live in almost a walking prison. But some of the other things that have come out about Rogue One, let's just deal with the big one, the elephant in the room, and that was that the I guess the studio Disney was kind of having some problems, or they weren't satisfied with the first showing of the movie because they, for those who don't know, in the studio system they do like a little showing of the film, a rough cut with the executives, and they kind of say yay or nay, or want to add a little more, add more of this, more of that, put this in the movie, do that, to make a little bit of changes here and there. So apparently, the rumor was, quote unquote, that they had some problems with the movie and they were going to be doing some reshoots and adding some things in. I don't think this is as big of a deal as some online critics and online commentators have made it, and some have even debunked the whole idea that there was a problem. Because when studios have these viewings, they always make changes. It's not always, and plus the film is not completely finished yet. All the effects are not done, so sometimes they might see something that's going to be changed later anyway that they don't like. But just from what I've seen with the trailers, I've enjoyed the look of this film. It has a very gritty, down to earth war type film look, and I think that's what they're going for. I do like the director Gareth Edwards. I know a lot of people criticize him for that Godzilla movie. He's made some director choices that I probably would not have made, but that does not mean I hate him or his choices. As an artist, you got to make the choices that you think are right, and if the studio approves them, that's what you go with. And it's kind of interesting to me where they pick all these different types of directors and tell them we want you to bring your style and bring your sensibilities and bring your ideas to a film. And then when the person actually does that, then they get mad at them and say, well, you got to change this and make it more what we want to see. It's like, why would you hire the guy if you didn't want him to do his thing? In my opinion, that's what one of the things that ruined that new Fantastic Four movie that came out last summer, is because Fox wanted to interject its ideas in and just wouldn't let the director do what he wanted to do. So we know that whole debate, but things are moving along, and there's been some new news brought out about just some of the cast and the characters that are going to be in the new Star Wars Rogue One film. The big one is Forrest Whitaker's character is actually a character that appears in the Clone Wars animated series. So that should be interesting, seeing a character actually carry over, because I believe, other than Darth Vader and maybe the appearance of the actual Death Star, that's the only other thing that we're going to see that's kind of carried over into this film. And of course, you know, some of the vehicles and the stormtroopers, of course, but I'm talking about actual characters. This is probably one of the... So there's going to be a character from Clone Wars who is aged now, of course, but he's going to appear in this new Rogue One movie. Another interesting little tidbit was the actor Donnie Yen is playing a character. He's playing kind of like a blind swordsman type character, and some people have speculated whether he would be a Jedi or a fallen Jedi, or maybe just a Jedi that no one knew about, or a Force user. But apparently he is not. So for anyone who wants confirmation about that, he is not a Force user or not Force sensitive. He is just someone who, he believes in the Force. So he's almost kind of like a religious monk who kind of maybe comes from a culture that maybe idolized the Jedi and idolized their use of the Force. If you want to think about it in a religious terms, the Jedi were the angels, and now that all the angels and the gods, the Greek gods, are gone, you have these people who believe in them and still think that they are the best thing for this galaxy, and they've kind of taken up the fight themselves. So that's where Donnie Yen's character comes in, and he's one of those people that feels that the Jedi were the right thing for the galaxy and were helping out. But now that they're all gone, people like him and others around him have to take up the struggle and trust in the Force, just like the Jedi did. So, like I said, it's very interesting news. I'm interested to see the new main villain, whose name is, I believe, Director Krennic. And you see him in the trailer. He has kind of the Grand Admiral uniform on, so I'm eager to see his character. he's the main villain, and he's overseeing the construction of the Death Star, and Vader is kind of like the enforcer, kind of looking over his shoulder, kind of like he did with Grand Moff Tarkin in the original trilogy. So it should be interesting. From what I understand, Vader is going to be used sparingly, so you won't see him a lot in the movie. I hope they do show some good stuff though. So, but he's not the main focus of the movie. The main focus is on the regular people in the Star Wars universe caught up in this grand story. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I do think it'll be a good movie, a good direction for some of these Star Wars films to take. It's good to see other stories in the universe. We've only ever gotten the expanded universe in books and maybe some comic books, but now to get them in an actual film, and I hope Disney does more of these because it's such an expansive and big universe. It's great to see this on film and not just in a comic book, a video game, or in a book. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And I like the characters. I like the look of the film. I do like Gareth Edwards as a director. Eager to see what he comes out with. Let me know what you guys think about Rogue One. Are you eager to see it? Are you hyped to see it? Do you know any more information that you want to share in the comment section? Please feel free to. And hopefully you enjoy my picture of Darth Vader in the bacta tank. And seeing, even though he's scarred and messed up and kind of pathetic, he still has the hate in his eyes and that evil and that anger of the dark side seething through him. So hopefully you enjoy that. Anyway, Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.